let's talk about Jauan Jennings. We're talking about, has Kyle Shanahan lost the locker room? I don't know. But when one of your best players gets thrown out of a game in the first half, 25 yards before he gets to 1,000 for the season, you got to wonder, like, what is going on here? You don't do that in football. You don't go out and commit 15-yard penalties because you got into a, like, little one-on-one battle with some DB. So Jauan Jennings and this other DB get, like, offsetting 15-yard penalties. Then he does it on the next play. Back-to-back plays. Then after the game in the locker room, he's smiling and talking about he didn't do anything wrong and it wasn't his fault and the referees are out to get him. He's got a reputation. It's not fair. And they got to look at the film and see that it was a mistake. You know, a strong head coach, a passionate head coach goes up to Jauan Jennings during the game and says, we don't do that here. I love your passion. I love that you block hard, but you cost yourself and you cost us. You have to be more, you have to care more about the team than yourself, than your ego. Your own little battle with some freaking DB. But did Kyle go up to Jauan Jennings and say something and say, that's not how we play football here and we have a standard, or did he just do this? I don't know. You tell me. Like, what Jauan Jennings did wasn't a good look, but I feel like, again, it's indicative of the problem with the culture of this team. Jauan Jennings gets ejected after back-to-back personal fouls and feels like he can stand in the locker room afterward with a smile on his face and say he didn't do anything wrong. He should have already been talked to for the head coach and be like, hey, you did something wrong. Don't ever do that again. Did it 2 games in a row. Don't do that again. Deebo Samuel puts his hands on the long snapper's throat and the head coach defends Deebo and said the long snapper was out of line. Brandon Ayuk, blatant disrespect, comes out to practice in the wrong shorts. Kyle Shanahan has to get him to put the right shorts on. Like, player after player kind of thumbing their nose to Kyle Shanahan's authority. I'll do what I want to do. I mean, kudos to Jauan Jennings for playing hard, but, like, respect the game. Respect your coach. Kyle, demand respect. Don't let that happen. How many times do the Niners lose a game and one of their players says, yeah, well, at least I did well, or they got lucky? Over and over and over again this year. And why would you expect the players to have any other attitude, any other message when that's the coach's message? If the coach doesn't come out and respect losing, if the coach comes out after losses and shrugs it off and says he did the best he could, it wasn't his fault, then other players are going to do that too. And they'll just pass it down and pass it down. I can't think of a more fitting thing to happen than Jauan Jennings getting ejected in the final game of the season when he's 25 yards away from having a life-changing milestone. One day, his grandkid will be like, hey, Jauan, do you ever have 1,000 yards in the NFL? And he'll say, almost. It's 25 yards away, but I blocked this DB. His DB was pissing me off. It was annoying. Kept talking to me. So I blocked him twice, really hard. They kicked me out of the game. It wasn't my fault, though. It wasn't my fault. I shouldn't have got kicked out. But, oh, so you didn't have 1,000 yards, the 8-year-old grandson will say. And Jauan will be like, no, but I should have. And the 8-year-old will go back to eating Cheerios and watching cartoons, if those exist, when we're 70. Cool, Grandpa, you didn't do it because you did something dumb. Anyway, good player, hell of a season. Fitting way for it to end.